get into some college football. So now I want to start with Michigan State because, again, full disclosure, I really did not watch this game. I was out of town. The game was on, but I was not focusing on it. Michigan State loses again. They get blown out again. A game that was very winnable. A game that they were in it for some amount of time in the second half, and they just blow it. So my general feeling about it, look, okay, Childs, I guess if you just look at the stat sheet, I'm only telling you what I see on the stat sheet. Had these in enough game. Okay. Michigan State needs just 2 more wins to get into bowl eligibility. One small problem. They only have 2 games left. Now, one of them is this Friday against Purdue, who has won a singular game at home. I hate to write in wins before you have them. However, I am going to say that is at least more than likely a win than it is a loss. Is that fair? I think that's fair. Let's say Michigan State loses one out of these 2. Whether it's Purdue or Rutgers, I think I'd be more upset if they lose to Purdue and then beat Rutgers in a way. But let's just say they don't get it done. Does the confidence in whatever Jonathan Smith is doing for Michigan State wane if they do not get this done? I think for me, unequivocally, yes. Because it's not as though we're talking about, it's not as though we're talking about a team that was, let's just say 4 wins and they needed 4 wins and they were just dead, right? Like, I don't know. Like Michigan State went on I guess we do have 4 wins, but we win 4 in a row and then we lose 6 in a row or something. Or rather, we have 3 wins on the year and then we needed a miracle or something. We're not dealing with that. We're dealing with a situation where if we just go up and down this schedule really quick, Boston College was a very winnable game that we lost. Michigan was a winnable game that we lost. Illinois is a winnable game that we lost. That's 3 wins. That would have put us in bowl eligibility and then some. And so now we're having to deal with games that, look, Rutgers, not very good. Purdue, not very good. However, you've now put yourself in a spot where you got to get those wins in order to just get into the bowl eligibility. And I know that the bowl games don't mean as much as they used to. I know that it's a college football playoff world and we're just living it. I understand. However, they have to mean you have to get your program to a certain level of relevancy. You can't just go out there in this era of college football with the transfer portal, with NIL, and all that fun stuff, and just go out and have a garbage year, especially when, as a head coach, you went out and got much of these guys. We didn't have to get Aiden Childs. You got him all on your own. We didn't have to get, Nick Marsh or Jack Vellen. You got both those guys all on your own. And Nick Marsh is fabulous. And Aiden Childs, look, I see the potential. I know he's not there yet, but I do think he could be a very good quarterback in the Big Ten. I really, really do. But you have to be able to actually win these games that are there for you. This Illinois game, it is a blowout at the end of it. It really didn't have to be. It was a 1-score game in the 4th quarter, and it just totally fell apart. So I do think that Jonathan Smith, if he loses, certainly if he loses to Purdue, if he loses to Rutgers, at least you can say, okay, it was a rough year. There's very little talent on the team. The offensive line is terrible. The defensive line is terrible. You just don't have the trenches. And if you don't have the trenches in the game of football, you're not going to win. So at least we can identify this is what we got to do better. And again, look, this is probably, frankly, for a while now, this is the best Michigan State has looked since Kenneth Walker, which is not great because Kenneth Walker year was amazing. And the fact that this is the next best tells me just how bad it has been. To me, You have to win these games, or else I just don't. You're putting yourself in a tough spot to win back my confidence. You really, really are. It's similar to like, look, it's one thing in the NFL to be terrible, right? Like I remember Dan Campbell's first year; it was an awful year. It's one thing to lose all those games, right, and just be bad. It's another thing to leave wins on the table. It's another thing to just drop games you should not have dropped. So, yeah, I don't know. I think they can get it done, and if they do, I will consider this season a resounding success, right? Which, for the standard that we're living in, look, if Michigan State can be in a bowl game and be able to take home the Pinstripe Bowl trophy, I don't care. It's at least something. And you can build off of that. And Jonathan Smith has built programs everywhere he's been, most recently with Oregon State. I do think he can be that guy, but he's got to be able to clean up some of the coaching mishaps, some of the time miscues, some of the play calling. He's got to be able to clean it up. I understand that he doesn't have the guys. He doesn't have everything in place. But life comes at you fast, buddy boy. You're going to have to speed up. You're going to have to speed up, figure it out. Because the offense has absolutely no consistency in terms of scoring points. They might be able to march down the field. They've shown that ability. But scoring points? No, not so much. Hi, it's me again. If you enjoyed what you just saw, hit the like and subscribe button. We do live shows every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there.